Alright, so Pizza Man, alright, it's definitely a mode, I'd say at least. It's one of my hardest current FNAF challenges, probably one of the hardest things I'll ever achieve in my gaming career. Now, what originally made me kind of like go for this mode, firstly, was I had seen it on the list, and at the time it was I think it was top 5, and I thought it looked really cool. You know, a Roblox mode that being that high up on the list, I was like, oh wow, I didn't know Roblox could get that high. And at first when I saw it, I didn't even want to try it. Like I was looking at the gameplay, it looked so hard at the time. I didn't think I'd ever be able to beat this. No, it's turned out a few months later after I started it, turned out to be true that I was able to beat it. Now, originally, I guess we can start with how did I find out about the max mode list in general. The reason how I found out about this list was from the Bones 5. I had saw a video, I think it was this Rat and Cat All Challenges video. When he first posted that, I saw that. I was like, oh hey, I know that game. And I saw the little challenge rules. I thought it was pretty cool because I thought of FNAF. I thought of the scary aspect. The only hard thing I had known, which probably what most people know, was 50-20. That I thought that was a brink of FNAF gameplay. I didn't think anything else could get harder than that. And then I had learned Post Shift 2, which I found was harder. But I didn't think things could get as hard as some of this. Now, because he had introduced me to that, I had eventually, gone to the website and, that's where I just saw everything, all the challenges, and everything. I was amazed, because before this, I was playing Geometry Dash, which, it's a pretty cool game, pretty cool rhythm game. If you, I do recommend checking it out. It's pretty cool. But that's besides the point. Yeah, so I saw, this wasn't added when I first saw the list. This was added a little bit after. Now, I saw Rat Cat Challenges, which was at my first FNAF challenge. And, this is actually, Pizza Man was actually my third ever FNAF challenge, which it's quite crazy to think that something this hard was only my third FNAF challenge, which it does seem kind of fishy, I'm not gonna lie. And, as you're seeing in the background, it's definitely not easy at all. Is it overrated? Maybe. It might be slightly overrated, but it's still not easy. I found the gameplay very fun when playing this, at first, because even throughout the easier nights, it can get boring at times, yes. But once you make it to have fun and stuff like that, the gameplay does get fun. And it's also quite. I mean, it's just a fun loop in general. I don't know. If you're looking for a fun game mode that has simple gameplay and it requires you to play fast, then this is definitely something I would recommend. Now, aside from that, though, I think we should get to something a little more in depth of my journey to complete this one. Now, I had started playing this around, I believe it was April when I first found this game. I was just playing for fun, thinking, why not check out the game, see how bad it can make this. I saw Pizza Man, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. My first goal was just to unlock it, just to see how playing it felt, because I had known that seeing things and playing things are two completely different, just visions. A lot of people don't know, but, when you see something, when you see someone play something very hard, it may look easy to you, but that's just from the viewing perspective. Compared to actually playing it, it's a whole different story. Now, I started playing, and I quickly grown kind of just used to the gameplay. I had to adapt to it quickly, because prior to this, my hardest was Rat Cow Challengers, but not the OG one, the new one, the one with the Nerf laser pointer, because I'm not that good yet. And it was fun, and then I beat all the nights until I didn't even know you could, reduce the graphics down to see the bots until have fun, so I beat everything on full graphics. I thought that was kind of funny. Now, when I was first playing Have Fun with max graphics, it was really hard. I'm like, how does anyone actually play this? So then I went to a Frogger video when he beat it, and I looked at it. I'm like, hang on, why does his look different? I never read the description of the game, which I didn't know that you could turn down the graphics to see them in the windows. When I did that, it became so much easier. Now, at first, obviously, when I was still playing Have Fun, it was still crazy hard. I was struggling a lot on it, and with there being no power indicator, oxygen over time, I just didn't know what I was doing. I just didn't know how far I was. My oxygen meter, power was never really a concern. It was more or less just the oxygen and then time meter. Now, when I had finally beaten Have Fun, I was like, wow, that is hard. I tried Pizza Man for the first time, and I was like, holy crap! It was a whole different level. Pizza Man is just so much harder than anything else. Anything else in that game. It requires much more fast gameplay. And on top of that, it's also crazy long, being 12 minutes and 27 seconds, which is just mind-boggling to think that something can be that long. But yeah, it's definitely one of the longer though it's on the list, but definitely not the longest. Also, one more thing is these fake hours are where the easy part of Pizza Man begins. Because mainly nothing happens, it's just, the only difference is the atmosphere changes, which, can make it kind of hard to see some of the cool kids, but for the most part, it's quite the exact same, and there's not really much shit to adapt to other than just normal Pizza Man himself. Now, we begin to get into the true hours, or I guess before we get the transition. Transition can be quite, annoying, as you have the music going in the background, which can make it kind of hard to hear the fast Pizza Man, as he has a very short cooldown, and he doesn't really get loud until the last few seconds of it, which can make it very hard. On top, if you get unlucky, you can have a bunch of noises happening during this too, which, I died there a lot because of it. This is actually one of my big stopping points before I was able to make it into the true hours. And, the one good thing is that the first few seconds you actually have infinite power and infinite oxygen, so I don't recommend you take advantage of it, as it's very unreliable. And, yeah. Now, the true hours begin. These are where the difficulty can really start shining. The first true hour brings in the first characters from the first night, Firefly and Ashton. They're the exact same as they work, they just appear at your door, all you gotta do is close it. Though this can be quite annoying, as on top of, everything, on top of that, you're still dealing with Pizza Man in the whole thing. And also the phone call in the background can also make it quite hard to hear past it all. But overall, not too much different. There's door characters when they're there, shut it. Pretty easy. And yeah, that's about it for the tutorial. We spiral into true 1 a.m. This is where the vent gets a little bit of a buff. You can have it close for a lot longer. The oxygen goes from draining 2% to 1%, so much faster. Though the reason why is because Z-Bar has not been added. He's not too much of a threat other than just make sure don't get too don't close the vent for too long. That can still kill you with the oxygen. Just make sure to watch him for the 8 seconds and. If you see a fast Pizza Man, I recommend just leaving it closed. That's one thing you can do. If you see him appear on the timer, just don't try to open it and try to time it, because you have plenty of oxygen to do it. Other than that, basically the exact same door characters don't change. It's mainly just the vent, and when that's really it. This is honestly not that hard of an hour. Once you get used to the vent and adapting to that, it's honestly one of the more kind of like a little easier hours. Basically the same, just vent character. And the next hour after this is honestly quite the same. So, to my knowledge, I don't know. Some people have said it's different. I'm not too quite sure. When I was playing, I didn't really notice anything different other than just, some other stuff. But as you can see in the gameplay in the background, for the most part, it's the exact same. Now, true 2 a.m. appears. The only difficult part, in my opinion, about this is all the loud noises. With the constant voice messages going over, never stopping, can make it sometimes hard. If you get unlucky, can make it kind of hard to hear the fast Pizza Man. But as long as you don't get the worst RNG, as you can see right there, I almost couldn't hear it and almost died to him. But overall, pretty easy, nothing too crazy. And honestly, kind of think of these as like little break hours compared to these next 3 hours. As the next 3 hours are brutal. And that's where that's why it's also why it's so high up on the list, is because these last 3 hours. Of course, that's gonna happen when I get there. Now, true 3 a.m. appears, and true 3 a.m. This is a little bit more where difficulty spikes. Now, all door characters from the other nights have been removed, and Z-Bar, and have been replaced with 3 and 2 and normal Cool Kid. Now, 3 and 2 is not really much of a threat, He's one of the loud vent characters, so you don't have to really check him for that, and he kind of appears in your office. Now, this little guy, he's the cool kid that you want to worry about, and oh my god, he make him top priority the moment you see him. Like, what I mean, the moment you see him, anything that appears on cameras, find him. He will kill you so fast. His kill timer is so low, and it's just, ooh, not fun at all. I promise you, and I mean it, if you're ever playing Pizza Man, and you make it the true 3 a.m., find this cool kid as soon as possible. Now, true 4 a.m., this is where peak difficulty hits. This is where everybody's added, the characters from all the nights, and 3 and 2 plus Cool Kid. This is where the hard part of Pizza Man comes in. Not only because, everybody's added, so you gotta keep so many characters, but also your nerves are most likely gonna be high. If it's your first time making it, you're gonna be super duper nervous. You probably miss out on like a vent character or a Cool Kid or something. It's just very stress inducing. And on top of that, 4 event characters. That is a lot of event characters to keep track of. So you can definitely die that easily. All the pizza cool kids, plus all the little black guys running around. I'm not really sure what to call them, but you know, the little black guys. They can be kind of, you know, annoying to deal with because you can mistake them for, you know, pizza cool kids walking around. Happened to me a few times, but they didn't really do anything other than just kind of cause annoying and kind of flip cameras a lot. But they can definitely get really bad in true 5 AM. Sometimes once we get there, you will see it gets little, you know, a little chaotic. But for the most part, this hour is not the worst. It's next hour. Like I said, true 5 AM. Here we are. This hour, your nerves are gonna be through the roof. As with the crazy changing atmosphere every like few seconds, the clock with them slowly appearing on your screen, this gets like, it's crazy. It's like one of the most stress-inducing times you'll probably ever have playing any challenge. As the constant changing the background, trying to find the cool, which by the way, you have there's no indicator for when he spawns. You just have to just constantly keep finding him. And you know, everything's the gameplay's the exact same as true 4 AM. It's just the atmosphere keeps changing and changing and changing, which can be quite scary. But once you're able to adapt to all this, I recommend you be able to adapt to true 4 AM. The faster you can, the way better you'll do here. Once you're able to do that, you'll eventually be able to conquer one of the hardest Roblox modes there are, and one of the hardest FNAF modes there are. Pizza Man. No. Oh, yes! Oh my god, yes! Oh. Now I feel as if I've really talked about my current experience. I kind of just explained how Pizza Man works, but because if you're curious, I should leave that up anyway. My experience with Pizza Man. Now, when I'm playing this mode, I'm not gonna lie. I honestly was playing it for about 45 to an hour, like, you know, time spans each day. And I will admit, it can become a bit boring if you play it for too long. But like quick little like sessions, like maybe a few matches, it definitely makes it a lot of fun. And on top of that as well, it also I don't know, supports me. It kind of just is something I do in my free time, which is definitely what I do a lot. And you know, it kind of just, I don't really know, gave me something to do, gave me something I could work towards, as compared to like something else which I wasn't able to, you know, do. But personally, for myself, I don't really want to ramble on that anymore. But I struggled a lot with some stopping points. One of them being transition time. I was stuck there for a very, very long time because I kept dying to a fast Pizza Man. I wasn't able to hear him over the loud, you know, transition time. That's one stopping point, I will say. Definitely, easily. What was that? And true 3 AM was also another big stopping point for me because for some reason I just could not manage trying the cool kid with the office characters, which I mean, naturally, it's not going to be that easy. That's where kind of like the quote-unquote hard part of it begins. I never really got stuck at true 4 AM. I kind of actually fluked it, surprisingly. I went from true 3 AM to true 5 AM. I didn't really die at true 4 AM. At least, I'm after it, but it wasn't really it wasn't my best. Now, personally, I would, you know, if I had the option, I would love for like to play a harder version. This is extremely fun, and I know I can make it hard by doing max graphics and stuff like that, which I much rather not do. That just sounds like agonizing. But you know, we're just not gonna do that. So you know, that's basically my experience with this mode. Got stuck at a few points, but all in all, I kind of adapted. Like once I figured out the gameplay loop, I kind of was able to kind of just spiral up from there. And it's definitely a lot different from Have Fun. Have Fun is definitely a lot slower and definitely not at all like this, which I mean it's natural. Just a big jump. If you're going from what I did, going from Have Fun to this, it's definitely a big jump. I wouldn't recommend jumping this much, as it can definitely take you a lot of time. I got really lucky with beating it, as it only took me about 30 hours of gameplay. But some people would take them hundreds of hours of gameplay, which is, you know, definitely not that bad. But like, oh, that's poor. That's unlucky, really unlucky. So that's my experience with Pizza Man, and I do hope you guys have an amazing day. And maybe I will be updating you guys on what I will be doing next.